with a revision of yesterday things. So let us go ahead and ask you questions. So I told you, till this you are somebody wanted that Akshada, I guess, sequence. So now I'm asking you fresh set of questions. So listen to the question, please. Suppose you remove that cascading. So just a minute recap. Where have you added the cascade option? In the parent side or in the child side, as in course or student? In the course, parent side. So suppose I go back to no cascading. If you don't mention cascade, the default value of cascade type is cascade type dot none. So neither save nor update nor delete. Okay. So here is the question. Answer that. Guys, prepare yourself on such kind of scenarios. People ask you. Suppose one course has got 3 children records. How? You have said that convenience method you have called c.addStudent S1, addStudent S2, addStudent S3. Okay. So this is done. Now, I have taken from user course ID the same thing. Cancel course we are going to run. And here, we are getting the course by ID. If it is not null, I'll try to delete. This was some vendor assignment earlier. Anyway, session.delete C. Anyone wants to tell me what will happen? Read this and answer. The whole question is in front of you. Prashant has given me one answer. Where are others? What about others? He's saying only course data will be deleted. What about others? Nobody having any other answer. Sangram is right. Sumit is right. Okay, try it out. Best is try it out. Okay, which error, which exception are you talking about, guys? Pushkaraj, Sumit, Sangram. Which error? You're right. So I'm asking you more. Yeah, what about foreign key, Srinivas? Not sufficient. Insufficient answer. Can you delete? Exactly. Yes. Can you delete a parent record without deleting this thing? Children records? Absolutely not. So that will be the violation of the foreign key constraint. Okay. Why don't you try this out? And then suddenly you'll start understanding why cascading once again. So go fast now because we have to cover really a lot. So open course Pojo. Which are the 2 attributes we have added for one-to-many, mapped by and cascade? Comment the cascade. Control Shift / And done this, Control Shift and / will give you the comment. And what is it we are having? Done the changes. I'm asking you to observe and conclude quickly, fast. Now go to cancel course again. Just check, pick up some course which has some records. So my Java course has got 2 students. Okay, so let's see what happens. So I'm going to give the course ID as 1. I don't know what data you have given, so play it accordingly. Try it accordingly. So if I say 1, 100% you will get an exception. And the name of the exception, the database level exception. See, Hibernate, you will understand when I said Hibernate absorbs. Hibernate catches the JDBC exception and rethrows it as a Hibernate exception. So when I take you to JPA, what is the JPA? The original exception is JPA exception, but the root is Hibernate constraint violation exception. But from that you don't understand. So always, guys, be a good debugger, troubleshooter. You need to troubleshoot your own code. You should always look at caused by. So what is that caused by? Sorry, not here. Still more. I mean, that is also caused by. But here is where I think everyone will understand. I'll take that whole line and put it on this. Check it out. So after reading this, I think nobody requires my help. Caused by SQL integrity constraint violation exception cannot delete or update a parent row foreign key constraint fields because it is referencing your children rows. Understood it completely? So If you say no to cascading, what is it you will have to do? I asked you the same question for adding. Now I'm asking you the same question for deleting. What is it you'll have to do? If you say no to cascading, first you will have to delete all the child entities. See, so much of a code, so much of a hassle. Am I saying it is not possible? Everything is possible. So I'll have to attach a iterator or something. So for each and delete all the records for a particular course for a student, I mean student records, and then delete the course. So tell me, that is easier or adding a cascade option is easier? Answer is cascade option is easier. So guys, I'm making a very important statement now. When I say important, I mean a project tip. So if you want to enjoy, or rather if you need cascading in your project, you will have to create a bidirectional one-to-many and many-to-one association. But if you say, I'm not requiring anywhere, for example, I'm telling you both the ways. So if you know your project logic best, so in your project, if there is no use case for cascading, then this overhead of maintaining bidirectional association is too much. And in that case, I'm going to show you some demo. I mean, I don't know today, tomorrow, but I'll show you one demo where you have many-to-one unidirectional and everything. So all that one-to-many set drops off. But okay, so the configuration becomes so easy. Which not easy I'm talking about? Only many-to-one, join column, that's it. And of course, foreign key will be done. But what is the advantage you lose once you have a unidirectional association? Will you be able to enjoy cascading? There is no parent to child association at all. So if you are you understanding my thumb rule? See, all this is totally project ideas. I mean project tips. So ask yourself, do you need cascade on save, update, delete? If the answer is yes, you'll have to go the extra mile, as in you'll have to configure extra and you'll have to set it up as bidirectional. But one demo, I'll take it as a unidirectional, many-to-one. So easy to configure in 1 minute or something. I mean, this also gets over in 2 minutes, but whatever. And then the whole complexities drop off. So your requirement base, you take a call. Anyway, so going ahead, go back to your this and course Pojo and re-enable. If it is a bidirectional, all these things are definitely worth it. Control Shift \. And then everyone knows we had already seen this works. So here, let me write it down for you. What will happen? You will JVM means Hibernate will throw you constraint violation exception. And which constraint violation exception, guys? Foreign key. Cannot delete constraint violation exception due to the foreign key. Are we fully clear? 100%? Once you see, observe and conclude, and I have given you the sequence. So you are going to sit down in the lab and go through the sequence and accordingly check the code and add your own questions to the code, and you can always ask me later, or you can ask your lab faculties immediately. Okay, so let's not waste time. We are hardly, I mean, we have hardly done anything. So I told you already. So now a particular student wants to cancel an admission. So tell me, when a particular student cancels admission, should we delete the course? I mean, should there be a reverse cascading? Student record deleted, the whole course goes away. See how weird it sounds. So that is why child to parent, hardly you will see any cascading. Parent to child, yes, you require cascading. Okay, is the requirement clear? Let's start building it up and let's see how you answer and what you see and all those things. It's again interesting to see the problem and then fix it. So I've given you this. This was yesterday's objective, which I could not finish yesterday. So you tell me, where do you want to write it? If it is a cancelled student admission, where should you put it? Student DAO or course DAO? I can put it anywhere, but it is student specific. So better to put it in this. Guys, that is a decision which is little, I mean, anywhere. So student admission, so student thing. Open that. You can take this, open your student DAO. Where is that? I student down and add this method. Okay, and here. So if you are worried about course name, I mean, what I mean is course title. So what are the two things? I can always take anything which is unique from student. For example, student email. So it doesn't matter really. So just doing this in a manner. Shall I send you this so you can code along? Please continue to code along with me, or anyway, I'm not forcing, but try and do that. Is the method declaration done? Clear basically? So which was the method we had used for adding a student? Add student. Which is the opposite method we have written for delinking the delinking the link between the two things, remove student. So we are going to use that and we will observe and conclude. So go ahead with the implementation class. Source override implement. Copy the template code. Okay. And you will start telling me how should I proceed. I have already given the clue. I want to show you remove student, that delinking part. And let's observe and conclude. So tell me, what is the first thing? User has given me, user has selected this course. From this course, this student has to go off. Okay, start. What is the first step? Get the course reference. Absolutely. So get course from its title. Answer the next question. Which session API I should use? JPQ, I already got the answer. This is how the communication should be, Guys, I mean, because I don't have to ask you then the next question. Great. So do we have anything here? Oh, we have it. Great. Later, all of this will go off. But that later is really later. I mean, in Spring Boot. So select this and all is fine. And here, same thing. Create query. Why don't we copy that also? We have it just recently written. It is so similar. I should have copied the whole method, Okay. So I'm just copying it, you know that. Post name, not post title. Okay. Now tell me, what should I use? Here I was using c.add student. So what is the method I should use here? Obviously, c.remove student. And the student references. Oh, I don't have the student reference. Sorry. I have to get the student reference. Get student from its ID. It is not transient. It is already persistent. So get it from here. So how do I get it? Which is the method I'll use? People seem to have worked it in the break, which makes me so happy. So I'm not saying you work in the break, but you think and you give answers. That is what is really good. So session.get, which is this student.class and the student ID. Correct? So here, see the point. Get single result itself throws me out if there is a not valid course. But here, this get method I have to check because this may return null or not. So here, do a little bit of checking. If S is not equal to null, then I can say remove the student. And here I can say S. Change the message appropriately. I'll send you the code in a minute. Student, okay, cancelling. Failed. Whereas here we will say success. Admission for student and whatever is the name that this particular student's admission is cancelled. Okay. I think we are done here. Let's see. Let's check it with together. So first the message, getting the course by the title. C dot title is this, fine. And here, let me check. You also check in case I have messed it up. Create query, set parameter, parameter name is name, and course title. This looks fine. Then get the student. If it is else branch, I don't have to write because that message I have already said, canceling admission failed and all. And does this and return the message. Understood it? Yeah, yes, Girish, I realized it. So here, let me send you the student DAO IMPL. So I'm just sending you student DAO IMPL, and let's write a two-liner tester to test it. So let's say student admission. Let's say here, cancel student admission. Okay. And here, the inputs you are going to require are, so this is all fine. I'm going to enter. Let's see what that method requires. Course title and student ID. Enter course title, fine. And enter student ID here. Correct? And here you don't add this. And here you say cancel admission, title, and sc.nextend. Okay. Okay. Is the tester also clear? I'll send you this. Tester never waste your time writing. I can always send you one fast. DAO and Pojo is very important. So cancel student admission. Those who are not typing, I mean not coding along with, are they clear about this code? I'm taking the course title, I'm taking the student ID and doing the job. Yes or no? Are we clear? Okay. So now tell me, when I run this, what will happen? Okay, simple question. Will the student record get deleted from the students table? Have you tried this? Have you tested this? Yes, so somebody has tested it, looks like. The answer is no. First question, answer my question. The answer is no. Only the delinking will happen. And then that sets your mind to think that why this happened. And then we come to the solution in form of orphans. Okay, so let's run this. What is it we are having is, yeah, run that whole thing. It is asking us some questions. You check. So I have got a course title as Java. And let's see which students are associated with this. So with this one, okay, so let's say A1 wants to drop out. So 4. Student ID 4. So observe. Answer is right here. So many queries, first of all, it is doing. So all those things we can look at it later. But observe something. It has fired the update query on the students table, which was the query we were expecting. Delete query. And here, just check it out. And see. So nothing should happen here. And this is the real thing. I'm telling you guys, it is going to really pain you a lot seeing the foreign key null. Okay. So let's so is the problem clear? Did the student record got deleted at all? Answer is no. But what has happened is there any link between the course and the student, or is that link is equal to foreign key? Gone. So the link is gone, but it could not delete the record. Even after I said the cascade and all that. But okay, cascading doesn't work here because I never deleted the course. So cascade is out of question. Now we have a new problem to solve. Is everyone at least clear with the problem statement? When I try to cancel the admission, and if I went the same way as we had talked about, add, suppose it is removed, the whole thing worked. I mean, whole thing did not work. The deleted record didn't get deleted. So now the reason is, Okay, before I tell you the solution or the reason, whatever, tell me what kind of a record? Okay, will you call this as a child record or parent record? C or P? Quickly. It's a child record. And does it have any parent ID associated with it? No. So what will you call it? Orphan or no orphan? It is an orphan. Okay. And you have not yet told Hibernate. Hibernate, like I used to say earlier, web container, Hibernate is your slave. But you have to give the orders correctly, otherwise the slave will not behave. So you have not told Hibernate to do the removal of the orphans. Okay. So the next attribute is orphan removal. So please open your J2E docs, keep both the docs open. Java EE8 docs for JP annotations. Open that. Search for one-to-many annotation. Which are the attributes of one-to-many annotation you know by now? Give me the list of annotations which you know. No, sorry. List of properties of this annotation, which I have already explained. One-to-many, which this thing, elements of annotations you know. You know two. Which two? Mapped by and cascade. Very right. So now you are learning the third one, orphan removal. So you can search for it. The name of this, it's so self-explanatory. Orphan removal. So they already give you so many examples. Okay. So what is the default value of the orphan removal flag? It's false. So is it going to, if you just remove this from the relationship means bidirectional relationship, is it going to automatically remove the record? Answer is no. Read. So whether to apply, if orphan removal property tells you to apply the remove operation to the entities that have been removed from the relationship. So which entity has been removed from our relationship? Student. And then you have to, then it has to cascade, then it has to, in short, remove that entity from the database. So which is the current value of orphan removal? If you don't specify one, it's false. So only you have to toggle it to true and again see Hibernate's magic. So which class will you go to? Which layer you will go to? Pojo or DAO or a tester? Of course, a Pojo. All these today's main emphasis on Pojo. Whenever you are revising, don't keep too much emphasis on DAO layer also, because trust me, in couple of days, DAO layer is going to become extremely thin. You can't even imagine how thin. But the Pojo is going to be the same. So today what you learn about Pojo is going to be applicable as is in your projects. So please spend maximum amount of time in Pojos, then lesser in DAO and least in tester. So accordingly you work. Okay, so let me not this time. Just add a flag. Orphan removal. Default value is false. Make it true. And change it. Now just rectify your alter. I mean, that's not alter table. Update. I'm going back to this because I don't want this orphan record. So I'm saying update students table. Set what? Set this thing, course ID equal to 1, where ID is equal to 4. So I've made it back to this. So there are no orphans and all. And let's run this again. Not running, not changing anything at all. I'm going to give the same inputs, Java and 4. And tell me this time, which was the query, which is the query you are seeing. It will be a delete query, but like I said, don't trust the console. Check it out here and tell me, is your orphan removal flag working or not working? Is the record actually deleted? It is working. Understood completely the meaning of orphan removal? You saw the problem and you fix it, so you'll never make a mistake. Girish, you have some other problem to fix. Check it out. Null pointer is the easiest. You should not need my help. So you must have messed up somewhere. I don't know exactly. I can't see it unless until I look into your code. Check it out. You should be able to fix that much. Otherwise, in the lab. So what I was saying is, right. Yeah. So now there is another way also. So here, this was the orphan removal way. So I'll write it down, our observations for cancelling admission. If you call course or this, the helper method, what will happen? The child record or the student record did not, wasn't deleted. Only the link was gone. Means what? Foreign key was null. So the solution is orphan removal. And after applying, after adding, give me a sec. I'm telling you again at the cost of repeating. Please read that sequence and then next, side by side, keep the code. So you'll know exactly. So after adding this, so here, everything I'm just putting it here. So after adding orphan removal, what happened? The child record got deleted automatically. Is the statement clear? Orphan removal. I just summarized whatever you saw. But I'm saying there is another option also. So what is the another option? Take the input for cancelling admission as student email, student ID. And student ID, you tell me, student ID in the students table, is it unique? 100% yes. So once you get the student ID, you can simply say get session.get, and then you can simply say session.delete, and student understood what I've written or not. Is it clear? So you don't require that this method, what is it called? That helper method remove student. But what is the disadvantage? Why I will not? If it is a bidirectional relationship, why I'll not recommend? Not I given thing. So what is the disadvantage, or whatever? The disadvantage of this is you are deleting student record, 100% record will get deleted. But that student, so that is a database will work. But will it be deleted from that array list which you are maintaining in the course? If you don't use that remove student method, the what is it called? Object world and database world will not be in sync. What is the disadvantage? I'm writing exactly. The student reference will not get deleted, or I'll say removed, better verb, removed from array list. What does it imply? The relationship, bidirectional relationship, won't be in sync with the database. So this is the disadvantage of not doing it this way. But the advantage, see, it has got pros and cons, guys. So I'm telling you all about it. You pick up the better option. Advantage is lesser queries. Here, so many queries your Hibernate has to follow this the moment you say remove student. But here, if you do it this way, the other way, there will be one select query for session.get and one delete query for student. So you pick up whatever you are looking for. So this was your last one. Okay, second last. There's one more tip, one more recommendation. So this was regarding the orphan removal. I would suggest, I'll have my own suggestions. If it is a bidirectional relationship, go it this way. Use the helper method. For unidirectional, you don't have a choice. You will have to do it this way. So listed completely, you read it later. Now the last recommendation, think and answer. What happened just now? Just now means just a minute ago. Your foreign key value was set to null, leading us to orphans, leading us to orphan records. So tell me, as a logical requirement, should you ever allow the foreign key value to be null? Because guys, if you just allow, you are so much into project flow and you will never notice that foreign key is null, and later somewhere it will hit you. So is there any way to ensure how you would have done it in the database? You tell me in database, I'll tell you in Hibernate. How you would have ensured that foreign key value should never be null? Quickly. Not null constraint, exactly. So here there is a property nullable. So how to ensure in database, not null constraint? What is the corresponding trick in the what is it called in JPA or object world in the label flag? So go to, okay, where is this this thing, foreign key thing, in student or in course? In student. So please open student.java, and here open that, and here after join column, here I specified the name, and there are so many constraints. So by default, the nullable is nothing but what? Not null constraint. So here by default, nullable is true. So here, what is the value you want to give it to? False or true? Nullable false, which is nothing but implying not null constraint. Making sense completely? Understanding? Getting the feel? Okay, so things are more than easy. Now, if you make a mistake, so now if you rewind and remove that orphan removal, I'm not doing it, already late. But if you do that, then it won't just quietly keep it null. It will immediately shout, and you will get a constraint violation exception that you are defying or you are violating this constraint. Okay, so always add more and more constraints, so the errors will be highlighted, and you will not. I mean, they will not be just ignored. Understood all the tips? So at the end of the day, what we have is, if you, the moment you understand, guys, the next relationship when you configure. So in my sequence, I mean, see, I take different case studies, otherwise it becomes boring for me. Every batch, same case study, it's so boring for a faculty also. So earlier I was saying one vendor, okay, so it was a service vendor, one customer, forget vendor, you'll say which vendor. One customer, can he or she have multiple bank accounts? Can one user have multiple bank user can have multiple bank accounts? Yes. So we were configuring that somewhere earlier, and that is again, you can configure it in a bidirectional, unidirectional manner. So that kind of a thing I can always give you as a additional practice. So coming back to the question, coming back to the statement, if you have really understood, I'm telling you with confidence, it takes you just 1 minute to configure one side of association, add those helper methods, and it takes you literally half a minute to configure the many side, provided you have understood it and you know what to match with what. Okay, so that way is the thing. So this finishes major discussion on one-to-many bidirectional association. Now, have you, solved all possible problems? Not yet. So as usual, we'll find the problem, or rather not, we'll look at the problem and then we'll solve. Another famous discussion. Okay, before I go to that, like how to ensure and not null constraint on foreign key. How? You already saw that. So how part is so easy. Okay, so this is your how part. So this was the answer of your earlier question. Now, so now now we'll see the problem and we'll fix it as always. So here the next object, yesterday's objective, I'm just carrying forward. So tell me quickly, how will you do this? So user means maybe a course coordinator or whatever, wants to see the course details. Which course details? I'm saying primary course details. Which are the primary course details? ID, capacity, I mean all from the courses table. So solve it. Solve it means verbally solve it first. Input, I'm giving it as a course name, course title, whatever. We have done it so many times. So answer me quickly. How will you do this? It's a repetitive question. JPQL. Everyone gets it. And then I can say SOP course and I get the details. So that will be first one we'll solve. But now I'm saying I want to, what is one course associated with multiple students? So now we'll write the next one to display the course details as well as enrolled student details for the specified course. You understood both the requirements. So here I want you to just display the primary course details. That is all the details from the course table. And here, what should I see? Of course, the course details plus the what is it? Enrolled student details. Are the next two objectives clear? Okay, so where should I write this in a Dowler? Whose Dowler I should write this method? Course Dow or a student Dow? Course Dow, obviously. Let us get started. Close and open course Dow, and I'll say, okay. Add a new method to get course details. Okay, and here I said, I mean, I can say course ID, course name, anything which is unique. So let it return the course. This will be, of course, a detached. First, it will be persistent, but when you say commit, you know what happens. So course, and I can say get course details. Okay, and here we said string title. I hope you won't have any difficulty writing it. We have been writing it for last 2-3 times. So go to course Dow implementation. Add a method. It from that student Dow. Copy the boilerplate code first, actually. I think you can manage it. You don't require my help. It's exactly the same thing we have done. Only thing is, I'm not making I had a power failure or I don't have this power. So I'm switching to my mobile data. My broadband is not working. So I'm stopping the video. so that we can make the most of the bandwidth. So whenever the power comes back, I will switch on the video again. Okay, so continue. Where were we? You must have completed the method by now. So let's see. Course C equal to null. C return C. Yeah. So let us see whether we have done. Yeah. Is everyone done with this method? I'll send you. Nothing difficult, I hope. Okay. So now let's write a tester for that. Copy it from cancel course, or if you wait a minute, I will send you that. Get course details. Okay. And here I'll just enter the course title. And here we are saying get course details. SC dot next. If you have the course name with the white spaces, you can always change it to SC dot next line. And here actually, oh. So let's see what happens. Is everyone clear? Okay, I said I will send you the tester. You could be waiting for that. So where is it? Get course details. I've sent you get course details. You don't have to bother writing the tester. I can keep sending you the same. Or you can write, doesn't matter. But are you clear with the code? Everyone? No confusion? Okay. So try running it. If you give some wrong title, everyone knows. Because of that JPQL select query was fired. And which is the exception? Get single result throws, no result exception, saying no entity found for the query. And if I give some valid course name, tell me, are you able to lift the course details from the database? Tell me it worked or not. Not getting anything from you. Are you trying it still or okay, there was some delay. Okay, fine, it is working. And just as a quick reminder, so here, this is null. So I can't ask you which state it is in. But the moment it comes to the next line, everyone knows it is persistent, has a corresponding record in the database because we have lifted it. And anyone wants to tell me what is the state of C here? Transient, persistent, detached, or removed? 100% detached. Okay, so all this is clear. Now, let's go to the next requirement. Which is the next requirement we said? So this is done, easy. So how did we solve it? Just get method, not get, what was it? JPQL. JPQL followed by create query. JPQL is enough hint. But now I'm saying, guys, I have the, for student, for example, for this course Java, there are couple of students, you know, you can add more students. Currently, I can see at least one student has registered for that course. So I want to see the course details and the student details. Understanding the question, the course and the associated student details. So I would recommend, why don't you run student admission first? Just run student admission and just take a couple of more. So that at least, you know, for one course, let us have at least 4 students associated. So I'm saying Java. And do I have A1, B1 types? Just populate it slightly, guys. Multiple students I want, in short, A1. And just confirm from the database table. So as you can see, for Java course, RIA, A1 and A2 are enrolled into it. Got it? Managed it? Okay. And now we are not writing any new DAO layer because your course has a students, right? It is a classic association, has a relationship. So let us start writing directly a tester. But I'm saying make a tester separate. So it will be very easy for your revision. So hear me, I mean, follow the steps. So I'm saying copy, get course details into get course and student details. So whatever are the students associated with that course, I would like to get that also. Okay. So I just made a copy, get course and student details. So here 0 changes. Okay, so I have got this course. I'll just refactor it into course C is equal to this. So I've got this. And if there is no exception, such as no result exception, that means I have got the course details. So I'll print the course details. Now I want to print the enrolled students enrolled for this course. Which course? With whatever course, C dot get title, or I have a title somewhere anyway. Anyway, so I want this. So tell me, how will I get this? But first check whether whatever I've done is clear or not. I asked the user to enter the course title. Same method I called just now, which we wrote, which has a JPQL and all that. If I give the wrong name, you will get a no result exception. Everything will be skipped and you'll see that. But in case I'm printing the course details here, like your earlier one. And now I want to display the student details associated with that. How to do it? Can I access student details from the course? It's a Boolean question. Yes, we have established a bidirectional relationship for a very purpose. So tell me how. Not difficult at all. Core Java question. Collection framework. Yes. How? Yeah, so it is other way. For each first and then there's no getter also required. For each, simple. So, okay, you were saying getter for, I understood you. Getter for the students, I think he went. So get students, yes. What does this get students return? A single valued property or collection based property? Collection, list, you know that. You have a for each and this. You got it? So it is iterating over all the students and printing. And run it and tell me. Give the valid course name. This begins the discussion of another extremely important topic. And tell me. You run it. Mark it as an extremely important discussion. The whole idea is lazy and an exception. Anyway, getting an exception or not getting an exception? I mean, are you able to live the course details and the student details or getting an exception? 100% you'll get an exception. I told you, this is the advanced topic. That is why I gave you, I hope, sufficient practice in basic CRUD operations, and then I got you to another level. So observe, are you able to fetch the course details properly, the primary course details from the courses table? Was there any problem in that? No. But the moment you started accessing the student list, you can see that. See this. This is your lambda expression, that iterable for each. You can click on that. So this is where you have an exception. And the name of the famous exception is lazy initialization exception. So let us, everyone clear with the problem? So now let us see the let's understand. And again, I'm telling you, understanding the problem takes a huge or large amount of time. Solution is one word. I mean, whatever words. So understand the point. Okay, first I will tell you from here and then I'll make you read my sequence. So observe carefully and tell me okay, let us say English, simple English. The select query has been fired on. Your choices are courses table, students table, both or neither. Answer is all here. You just have to look into the select query and tell me. That is why I say show sequel to true in the learning phase, courses table. You got me? But where is the students data? Students details are in the students table. Everyone with me? So whenever you say whenever the query is fired on the courses table, of course, primary details are fetched. All these ID, title, fees, etc. But read the statement, is the collection pojos.course.students, is it lifted from the database or not lifted from the database? The student information not lifted from the database. So listen to the next line very carefully. If you open course, see the diagram. If you open my course object, what is sitting in the student's property? Is this student's property actually populated by lifting the data from the database or not? Answer is absolutely not. Are you getting it? So Hibernate uses, later I'm going to explain with Spring also, a substitution pattern. So I hope everyone knows the word proxy. You're aware of it in your college days, and I don't know, CDAC days also. I hope not in CDAC days, but college days. Proxy pattern. It's a pattern, design pattern, exactly. So when you are not attending, you tell your best friend to proxy. So the point is proxy substitution. So here, listen, come back to the track. When the data is not lifted from the database, Hibernate is going to fill up that collection-based property for a proxy, by a proxy. And here, let's see this. So here, instead, it's a substitution. Instead of the actual data, what is that substitutor? A proxy of the student's data. Okay. But now, where are you trying to access this proxy? Where are you trying to access this student data? I'll give you options. Within the Hibernate session scope or outside the Hibernate session scope? I don't think you understood my question. I'll repeat my question. Guys, where are you trying to access the student collection, which is just a proxy? Within the, when the session is open or when the session is already closed? Answer is outside the session. Guys, you have the answer right here. Okay. So at that point, do you have the connection to the underlying database through the session, or is the session closed? Is the database connection returned to the pool? Of course, yes. So can Hibernate populate the proxy with the actual data by hitting the query to the database? Absolutely not. And most important statement of this half, anytime you're trying to access the unfetched data is your proxy. Anytime you're trying to access the unfetched data, which is unfetched data means which is not fetched in the database, from the database, in a detached manner. Detached means what? When the session is already closed, all you will get is, or rather Hibernate will throw you, very famous, very common, org Hibernate, this thing, what is it called? Lazy init exception, lazy initialization exception. So this is, there are two major headaches you will face in your project phase. One of them, I'm talking about Java side, of course. So one of them could be foreign key null. So I spent enough time in explaining you the problem and the solution. And the other equally irritating, like how we have null pointer all the time in the core Java or your HTTP 404 types. This is also. So once you understand the problem, solution is really easy. So guys, please open Hibernate docs. I just want to once make you read from the docs and then we'll proceed. So open in one of the tabs, Hibernate Java docs, index page, and directly search for lazy initialization exception. So you'll see org.hibernate.lazynet exception. I'm just calling it lazynet. Lazy initialization is too long to say. Anyway, so tell me, is it a checked exception or unchecked exception? Easy questions. It's an unchecked one. You can see it is coming from runtime. It is all compliant with JPA. And finally, JPA vendor is Hibernate. So Hibernate exception is the super type and this one. Now read two-liners, but packed with so much information. So when will Hibernate raise this lazy init exception they are trying to give you? When you try, indicates an attempt, means whenever you are trying to access not yet fetched data. Pause here. Which data was fetched in our case? Courses data, course data, students data, both or neither? Students data. Got it? So not yet fetched data means students data. Were we accessing it within the session scope, within the session context, or outside the persistence context? Outside the session context. So what kind of a, okay, important word, that's why I labeled. So just a sec. So if I ask you, what will be the type of the POJO here? Type means what will be the state of, what is the state of the POJO here? Transient, persistent, detached, or removed? You know the answer. I have already asked you. So detached. So you are trying to access unfetched data from the database. Unfetched data outside the session scope. 100% poor Hibernate wants to load the data, wants to initialize the proxy, wants to load the data in that proxy, but it is unable to do that because session is over. So this is one of the triggers. I'll show you so many triggers. So here, when the uninitialized proxy, here it's not one proxy, it's a collection. Uninitialized collection is accessed after the session was closed. So I've just tried to write the same thing, but in a simpler English. I don't know, whatever you understand, I always see that is the best for you. So I'm doing we are discussing an important topic. So you have to identify why Hibernate did not load the students' data because of this reason. Hibernate has its own fetching policies for different type of associations. Mark it as extremely important discussion, interviews, popular questions. So I have given you this. So any to one. When I say any to one, what I mean is one to one as well as many to one. So one to one always works in an eager manner. Means what? Student has an address. So when you lift the student details by saying select S from student S, where student name or email is equal to something, which details it will lift from the database? Student details, address details, both or neither? Answer is both. Eager, I'm saying, hyper. One to many. Which is the example of one to many we are dealing with currently? Course and student. So when you lift the course details by saying select C from course C, where course title is something, which details it lifted from the database? Course details, student details, both or neither? Only course details, because the default fetching policy of one to many is lazy, and lazy is the way, not your laziness, Hibernate's laziness. Lazy is the way for optimal performance. Why? Because let's say a course like your PGDAC. So that course has got 200 plus students associated with it. And if your Hibernate was working in an eager manner, and as a course coordinator, suppose I just wanted to see when was PGDAC course ending. Then in that case, if I had written select C from course C or whatever, which data I would have lifted? Course data, students data, both or neither, if it was eager. Can you imagine so much of data lifted and totally wasted? So any to many. See the words I'm using. Any to many, which means one to many as well as many to many. Hibernate is all for optimal performance, most optimized performance. It works in a default lazy manner. So here, which is the relationship? Don't focus on all the things because things become difficult later. So one to many is lazy. And read this 2 times. I mean, read it in detail, like slowly. So when will you see Hibernate or any JPA vendor throwing this exception? Anytime you are trying to access unfetched data from the database within the session scope or outside the session scope, within or outside? Outside the session scope means when the entity is in a detached mode, your course entity was in a detached mode, and you try to access the unfetched data, students data, we got a problem. So is the problem statement and the cause clear? What is the problem? Lazy initialization exception. What is the cause? Tell me the cause. What is the root cause behind that? No, I mean, yeah, Rohit, that is fine. But what is the root cause? The lazy policy. One to many association always works by default in a lazy manner. So that is what is killing us. You got it? So is there any solution or are we doomed? Of course, there are solutions. Okay. So the next question is, can I change the Hibernate's default fetching policy from lazy to eager? That is a question I'm asking. Answer is yes. How part? One annotation attribute. How part is extremely easy. Concept is always interesting. So that solution exists. So when I say I want to change that policy, that is a POJO level solution. Let us apply and then I'll ask you the disadvantage. And then of course I'll take you to the next one. So guys, open what? Open JPA. We are into, you are learning a new attribute of one to many. Which are the attributes you know by now? Mapped by, cascade, and the one was orphan removal. So now you see, look for fetch. The attribute name is fetch. And what is the default fetch type for one to many? Or for example, any to many. It is lazy. And 100% recommendation is you should keep it as lazy. But I'm just proving a point. By changing the policy, is it going to work? So guys, go to your POJO layer. Open the POJO. Which POJO are we going to add this? In course Java, a course POJO or student POJO? Student POJO. The one to many annotation where we have added the course POJO, please. And here, add the additional one. The whole story gets over with couple of attributes of annotation, but it took me the whole day to explain. So here, simply say fetch and control space it and change the policy, defines the data must be eagerly fetched. So tell me, when you say select C from course C, where course title is something, now the query is going to hit, or you are going to, not you, Hibernate is going to lift the data from courses table, students table, both or neither. Answer is both. Observe. So has everyone changed the fetching policy to eager? Have you replaced that default lazy to eager? Run the same code again, get course and student details, and tell me exception or no exception. Understanding things today, or are you equally frustrated, lost, confused like yesterday? Give me your feedback. Open feedbacks always. Don't understand, stay lost. I'll take it. I will feel bad about it, but still I'll take it. Of course, I have to take it. Getting some idea. Please spend 1.5 days. That is, I'm not troubling you in the labs today. So please do the yes, exactly. Well said, Avinash. You 100% need practice. And practice means understanding practice. Annotations get over in a minute. So please do proper practice. Go through all these docs or whatever and be there. So coming back to the point, am I able to lift the course details? That was anyway happening. That's a primary data from that. But are we able to lift all the associated records? Yes. And see the thing. There's nothing magical. You just see the select queries and you understand. So here, where it is lifting the data from? Courses table. And can you see? It has already identified where the course ID. Okay, you can see the query fired on the students table and fetching the data. So tell me, now are we getting any proxies in place of student data, or actual student data is lifted? Proxy or no proxy? In short, no proxies, real data lifted from the database. And let me ask you, in this line, where is that? Yeah. So in this line, are we trying to access unfetched data from the database outside the session scope, or fetch data from the database? Answer is fetch data. That is why you are seeing 0 exception. Clear completely? The problem and the solution. Problem was lazy, right? Root cause was default fetching policy of one-to-many being lazy. There was a problem. And the solution is just change the policy from lazy to eager. All 3 statements reach everyone? Okay. But like I said, is it a good solution or is it a bad solution? Is it a recommended or not recommended? 100% not recommended solution. I'll tell you why. I'd rather you know why. So now tell me, listen to the question carefully. After you modify, after you change this policy to eager, and a center head or a manager, a course coordinator wants to only see the course details, such as, course beginning date or capacity or whatever. In that case, what will it lift? I mean, will it lift only course details, or always will it lift the students' details along with always student details? You got me? So always you are lifting huge amount of data. The moment you change the policy to eager. So read my statements. So when should you apply the solution? When should you apply this solution? In case of size of many, means suppose I'm running a private course, only batch size is 5. I am just taking an example. So many sizes only 5. Then you think of changing the fetch type to eager. But guys, I know interviewers, worked with them. So the point is like, the people want to know, do you know the good design practices? So always sell, you can say this, okay, fetched, the size was less, but people will always prefer your solution with a lazy one. The default, don't change the policy to eager, because you end up fetching too much data. So even though this solution exists, when it is only recommended if you have the size of the many is small. I'll talk in example, makes it easy. I'm a bank customer. I'm an ordinary bank customer. I'm not some industrialist where I'm maintaining hundreds of accounts, Ambanis and Birlas and whatnot. So at the most, how many accounts I will have? I'll have at the most what? 2-3 accounts. One may be FD, one may be saving, one may be current. I'm an ordinary person, right? So in that case, if you configure customer and bank account in a eager manner, doesn't hurt you much. But please be careful. Whenever you are loading the customer details, along with account details will also be loaded. So I hope what I said is clear. And as a as a projective, don't do this. But so now we are in a fix. On one side, we say we want to go back to lazy, and the other way is we get a lazy init exception. So of course there is a solution, but before that, commented. Why I'm saying commented? You have a lab session, practice session, revision session, or whatever you call it. So that time you uncomment. Understood me? So if you run this again, we will be back to what? Naturally lazy init exception. So I'm showing you different solutions, two different solutions. So you're back to laziness. So now tell me, I've written it all in the sequence, but I just want to explain it to you. So same question I'm asking. We are accessing in this line unfetched data represented by a proxy in a within the session context, in the in the persistent context manner or in a detached manner. Meaning, what I mean by that is, yeah, it is a detached manner. What I meant by that is my course pojo detached or is it persistent? It is detached. Everyone agrees with me? Okay. So now go to the DAO layer. Where's that? We're not going to spoil this, but I'm just explaining the point to you. So here, this is the statement. So at this point in time, course pojo is what? Persistent or detached? Persistent. Everyone gets me? So while we are in the session scope, while we are within the L1 cache or that persistent context or within the session context, what will happen if I try to access the student details? Meaning, if I try to access the many-sided data or not yet fetched data, but in the session scope, let's see what happens. So here, what I'll suggest is don't disturb this method. I'm just checking. Okay, let's keep a different API. Because later it will become very easy for you to remember. So do the changes quickly. If you can't, I'll share the code. So here, let us separate this requirement into two. Understand functionally. Always think about business logic. What is to be done? So here, this is the method to get only course details. So we are giving options to your course coordinator, your manager. If she wants to find out only the course details, she could call this method. Okay. And the tester is that earlier one, get course details. And now add a method here, a separate functionality, separate it out, add a new method to get course plus. Okay. So I'm giving a separation of concern. So get course and student details. Get course and student details. Understood the separation? I'm asking you step by step before you give up and start feeling lost and all that. Understood that? So I'm giving both the options. See, you should give when you're developing a project, you should give all the options, or whatever client wants, you should be able to provide. Then only somebody will come to your application, right? So if user wants only course, fine, pick up this, otherwise this. Now go to this course DAO implementation, and let's not waste time. Copy the earlier method and paste it, and just change the name. Okay. Like I said, I can make a zip and give it to you in case you are finding it difficult to manage. So get course details copied into get course student details. Now, this particular tester, get course and student details, which method it will call? Get course details or get course and student details? The first one or second one? The second one, obviously. So get course and student details. You must be wondering, you are not changing the thing. Give me a minute, we will change. Okay. So currently, extra one. Okay. So currently, this is going to fail. So confirm whether it is failing or not. Otherwise, like before I come to the point, you will feel all lost. Because I've not done anything new. I've just copied the API. So it is a good time to make a zip, because I'm going to show you another suggestion. So just sending you so that those who are out of sync can also join us. Okay, so I've sent you whatever you require, you just use. Now read my suggestion, read the solution, second solution. Here, the whole problem is because Hibernate, even if it wants to load those proxies or load the data from the database, it was unable to do so because we were accessing the collection in a detached manner. So what is a simple solution? Simply access, forget this size, just access this collection within a session scope, within a session context. So come to this, which is the method we are going to change. I'll ask you, are you going to make a change in get course details, the first one, or get course and student details, the second one? The second one. And now here, course Pojo is persistent. And if I say C dot get students, what is it I'm doing here? Trying to access, right? Trying to access unfetched data. Students' data was not fetched. Unfetched data, but in which scope? Within the session context scope or outside? From within the session context. Are you understanding, making sense? Is the session still open or closed? I have not yet come to commit. And everyone knows session gets automatically closed on commit. So from within the session context, we are trying to access it. So in this case, will Hibernate continue to work in a lazy manner, giving you proxies? Or will it have to give up the laziness and fetch the actual data? Guess, proxy or actual data? It will have to don't say eager. This is not eager working. We are eager is that fetch time. You are forcing Hibernate to give up the laziness, not work exactly in eager manner, but at least work now. And this time you have a session. Session represents what? A thin wrapper to the connection. So the query will be fired. But I am saying you don't have to do all this. Everyone remembers there is a size method. The size method of a collection. So even if you try to access the size, see the hacks, not hacks, see the tips I'm giving you. So even if you just access the size of the collection, will Hibernate have to hit the query to the students table? Of course, yes. Guys, I'm not there in the lab today, but you do this, please. You add a breakpoint here. Okay, simply add a breakpoint and you will see which query will be fired on the database. Select from, on the courses table. And when you say this, when you have read the data only from courses, do you know, you mean Hibernate, does it know how many students are associated with it? Absolutely not. So the moment you try to access the size of the collection, what Hibernate will have to do? You tell me. Will it have to fire the additional query on the students table or no? To find out this, 100% it will have to do this. So trying to access unfetched data from within this. So this will result into write results. It cannot find the size. How can it know how many students were associated, right? So results into an additional query fired on students table. And now tell me, when you commit the transaction, you know the L1 cache is gone, session is closed, connection returned to the pool. So what are you returning to the caller is the detached Pojo. Okay. Now control comes back here to the tester. And now tell me, what is it we are returning from the DAO layer? A detached entity, 100%. But is it populated with, your choices are course details, student details, both or neither? Both details. So this line always works. So I'm not even asking you. So now what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to access unfetched data from the detached outside the session context, or the fetched data from the in the detached manner? Fetch data. And then Why should it give a problem if you're accessing something which already exists? So here, trying to access proxy or fetch data, actual fetch data, trying to access the fetch data, but in a what manner? Are we in the session context or outside? From outside the session context. We hardly care because the whole course object, it is an object graph, guys. If you realize, course object is my primary object referring to students. Student has ID, email and all. It's nothing but an object graph. Entire object graph is loaded. So why should you have any exception? Confirm. Like I said, solution literally takes a half a minute or whatever. Explanation, understanding takes a little more time. And once you understand, I hope you will be able to apply it in your projects if you take up. Tell me, simple question, simple answer. Lazy init exception or no lazy init exception? No exception. Are you able to fetch the course details as well as student details? Yes. Are we what is it got? Are we looking at are we getting the proxies or actual fetch data? Actually fetch data. You know all this, and you have the answer here. Select query on the course, select query on the student. The complete object graph is loaded from the database, resulting into no exception. Clear? Have we changed? Okay. So this is it. But if my course coordinator wants to just check the current course capacity, which method will you use? Get course details or get course and student details? The first one. In that case, will my database traffic increase like horribly, tremendously, lifting all the student details, or will the query be only fired on course? Only on course. So we have achieved both of best of both worlds. So whenever I want, see, I'm not changing the policy. Fetch type itself, if you change it to eager, every time, whether you want it or you don't want it, you have to live with the whole data fetch. But here I have an option of, if you want it, get it done using the access the size of the collection simply, and just give a hint, just give a clue to Hibernate. Don't act lazy. Give me the data, populate the data, and get the job done. Understood the point completely? Some answer expected. Okay, so the last one, and we go ahead to one maybe. So the point is now, so this is all good, very good. But if you notice how many queries your Hibernate had to invest to get the job done, 2 queries or single query. So which is better, single query or 2 queries are better as far as database traffic is concerned? Single query. And what is it we are talking about now? Single query, how? A join query. Are you understanding? So finally, we are coming to the join part. And if you remember, I told you, join syntax simplifies the join syntax. So this is the what do you say, proof of concept. So what I want to do is, do we want lazy init exception or no? Of course not. But I want to lift the complete data in a single query. So understand, there is a syntax, there is a join also. So that is a separate one. But what I'm taking today is join fetch. Means I'm giving the command to Hibernate that along with the courses details, also fetch the student details. So all answers are in JPQL. So the JPQL will be select C from course C. This part is easy. Select C from course C. Have I done it correctly? Yes. But if I do only this much, because one-to-many is lazy, of course, I'm going to write the where clause. Don't doubt that. Just a second. Where? What is that? C dot title equal to something. So this part is there. Don't worry. But if I write only this much, one-to-many being lazy, which details it will live? only the course details. So here comes the join fetch. It is such a easy and powerful this. So here you tell Hibernate, don't just lift the course details. The keyword is join. Join, you know, I mean, I don't have to specify. And here you tell the Hibernate, fetch the associated students also. So what should come next? The Pojo property name or the database column name? Pojo property name is the answer, not student. Which student you are talking about? That is why I'm saying use the references, use the alias. And what is the name of the property as it appears in the course? Students. Guys, I'm very careful generally in giving the names. When I say students, everyone knows. I'm not talking about a single student. I'm talking about a collection of students. Got it? So here one word or other, one such syntax, join fetch. Now guess smartly, how many queries will be fired when I use join fetch? Single query or two queries? A single query. Will the complete object graph, including course and the students, will be populated or only partial object graph? Complete object graph. In short, will you get that, what is it called? Lazy and exception? Absolutely not. So the last point, when you use join fetch, which is the default join it uses, you know, it is the inner join. Everyone knows inner, left outer, left, right outer and all. So it uses, or that cross join, it uses the inner join. So if I have, listen to this, if I have a course, but nobody has, nobody is enrolled to it, student size is 0. And if I use inner join fetch, you know, inner join, will it even give me the course details? I'll repeat my question. I said, suppose I launch a new course, let's say whatever, React or Angular, and no students have enrolled. Okay. And if I use the inner join, I'm not talking about your Hibernate, I'm asking you a question from database. If you use inner join, will it even fetch the course record? It's a yes or no. Of course, no. Are you understanding? What is it we replace it by in such case? Left outer join. Absolutely right. So here, if you want that, how do I do this? Exactly. I told you, JPQL is just an objectified version of SQL. So you can always add it as a left outer join. And now, irrespective of the fact whether there are students or no students, at least the course details will be fetched. Got some idea? Understood what I said? Okay, so let's do this and then go to one-to-one. I mean, I'll give you a break and then we'll go to your one-to-one association. So let's go ahead. And what I'll suggest is, I'm just thinking, should I add a new method? Yes, let's add a new method. So you can revise all, anything and everything. So go to your close everything. That one solution is accessing the size. So let that be. Just create one more, please. So here, add a course to this using accessing the size of collection or join fetch using join fetch. And here, get course details, something. In single query, I just want to do. Sometimes I wanted to do. So all the times you'll require join and all. So just preparing you. So did this, made the change. Just add a method with some name. Let's create a copy. Copy the last one and we'll make changes. And just change the method name to the latest one. Okay. So, and we'll write another tester to test this. I'll just copy the tester. So get rid of this. This is one solution which I have already explained. I'm keeping all the solutions for you. There's a lot to revise today in the lab session. So here, remove that. If you run it as it is, we will be back to lazy and exception. So tell me, change or no change in the query? Of course, there is a change and such a tiny change. So here course and simply add a word join space fetch. You actually see the English meaning. Along with course, fetch the students. And you don't have to go to that foreign key, column name, nothing. Don't go to database at all, nowhere near the database. Be in the object world, c dot students. If you drop the aliases, you can say students also. Generally, you get a better idea with the aliases. So I'll suggest select C from this, join page this. Yeah. And so first I'll show you that inner join, and then you can always try with that outer join, left outer, I mean. Okay, so done this. Let's write a tester to test it. Get course and student details with join fetch. Okay. And here, all you do is call the different method. Call it with the join fetch. And do this. I'll share with you this. Anyway, I'm giving you a 10 minutes break after that. Before we enter the different relationship, one-to-one basically, and then many-to-many. Let's see how much. So this is done. Now just run this. And observe and conclude. Are we having any lazy initialization exception? No. How many queries are invested? How many queries are fired to get the whole data? One query or two query? And everyone knows the join syntax. So which is the default join it is using is inner join. And you don't have to write, you don't have to write all of this on clause or anything. Everything is internally managed. So you decide and tell me which syntax looks easier. Basically, I'm just showing you two table joins. You can have ternary join and so many things later. So the point is basically here with JPQL, I hope you are thinking that this is easy. Is easy in the sense manageable. Understood something? Saw the effect of join fetch. And if I say, for example, let me see, do I have any course without any students? Wait a second. 1 and 2. How many courses I've got? Let's start from courses table. Oh, I've got only this. So what I'll do is I'll drop this record. I want to show you that left outer join naturally. Delete from students table where ID is equal to, am I doing correctly? Let's see, 2, ID equal to 3, I will say. And that 3, what is that 3? Kiran, and he is opted for 2. Yeah, so it's fine. So if you see the courses table, it is fine. If you see students table, there are no students for this course, full stack MERN, which is impossible, so popular. So anyway, so here, now let's try doing this. And give that name of the course which has no students. And tell me what happened. Could you lift this course details, student details, none, or I mean both or neither? None of the details. See, this answer is in front of you. If you know inner join, I don't have to explain really. And I know, or rather we know that there is a full stack MERN course, but because of that inner join, the whole thing failed. So everyone knows the solution. If you want, see, I'm just giving you all options. You have to be smart, wise, and apply whatever fits your project. Now it is going to be that way. So in this case, suppose I want, what is a tiny change I have to do? Replace what by what? Replace default inner join by left outer. Same keyword, nothing. left, see whether I'm doing it properly. See left outer join fetch, yes. And if you run this again, so tell me, are you getting the course details at least? After that, you can see the immediate impact. There's nothing complex about. Of course, yes. And of course, there are no students, so I did not get it. What about our other course, which has still students? I have not dropped anything from that. So here, are you getting as before, student and the course? Yes or no? Yes. And in a single join query or multiple queries? In a single join query. So this is all about one-to-many bidirectional relationship. So I'm making a zip and giving you 10 minutes break, and then we'll proceed to yet another relationship. Any things you want to go over? Of course, you have a whole day. Monday morning when we meet, of course, I'll ask you anything worth revising or anything you're not understood, etc. So I've sent you the zip. Let's take a 10 minutes break and continue in 10. You got the 12.1 zip? Received it? Okay, so let's meet in 10. Welcome back. So I have discussed the details, all the details, complete details, understanding wise and so again I got a power glitch, so I'm not starting the video. I'll continue without video for a while. Let my end for this thing. Let it settle and then we'll continue. So I want to make a statement. I know it will extract a lot of responses, so try to restrict yourself. I'm going to continue till 2 o'clock today. So I don't want to even look at the comments. So guys, because otherwise we can't even do half of the things which I have planned for today. So please be patient. Anyway, you are getting the weekend break and all that. So in order to achieve a little bit, we will have to stretch. I want to show you the integration of a web application with Hibernate. So that might take a little time. So I'm just mentally preparing you to stretch to be here till 2. You heard me? Am I audible? I know I'm not visible, but okay, thank you so much. So for refraining the comments. Okay, so what is it we were saying? Right. We have talked about all the things, essentially all the things in one-to-many. And as a quick recap, I will do that revision, but on Monday morning. So you get 2 nights to sleep over it, basically. So now we are talking about the other relationship. So which are the two relationships we already covered recently? Which is the one which you know already, which is going to be required most of the time, one to many and many to one. So two more are remaining. Today I'll start with one to one, and Monday I'll show you many to many. So see here. So I'm talking about one to one relationship, and I'm telling you with the understanding of one to many to one, this will be very easy to understand. So let us start with things. But of course, if I do exactly in the same manner, then I'm not sharing new things with you. So I'll give you the optimizations, I'll give you the suggestions and all those project tips. So let me start in a simple manner. First, the example. Student has a address. The moment I say has a, it is association, and we are still having the association between entity and entity. I mean, two entities. We can definitely configure it later between entity and value type, but I am not sure whether I can cover the value types today looking at the remaining time. So let me say this slowly and clearly. Is your student an entity? It's a Boolean question, yes or no? Yes. And little while later, we are going to configure the address also as the another entity. You got me? So what is the relationship? What is the association between two entities or entity and a non-entity? Answer is two entities. We are still not exhausted all the options. Now, manner. Oh, it's a pain. Yeah, I know. Yes. So now is it okay? It was just a glitch, hopefully. Because I'm getting power fluctuations and network glitches today. Sad. Bad day. So anyway, so here, can you configure, I don't know how much you heard, can I configure the relationship between two entities, such as student and address, in a unidirectional as well as bidirectional manner? Answer is yes. So let me see, because I'm going to do it in a different manner, but let me understand you. If I say bidirectional, here is the answer already. So if we configure it at this as this, will you be able to fetch the address details from student? It's a yes or no. Yes. And will you be able to get the student details from address? Yes again. All clear? Now the next question. Uh, okay, so here already there's this thing. If you recall, in a one-to-one association, when I say what is the default fetching policy? Is it eager or is it lazy? It is eager. Remember it simply. Any to one, be it many to one, be it one to one, it is eager. Yes, any to one is always eager. Any to many, always lazy. Always means by default lazy. So let me ask you an important question. Anytime I lift the student detail, I'm so sorry. That's internet. I mean, I'm getting a horrible net connection today. It's dropping all over the place. Anyway, so let me continue. I said when you start accessing the student details using this one, using what? Selects S from student S, where student ID or student email is equal to something, where the query will hit, or which details will I get? Student details, address details, both or neither. 100% clear? And as I said earlier, it may not be favorable. We may not want the student details at all. I'm so sorry. We may not want the address details at all. Excuse me for that. You understood my point? So what is the solution? Tell me from what you have understood so far. What is the solution? I don't want Hibernate to work in an eager manner. Okay. So change the fetch is equal to fetch type dot lazy. But here is the news. In one-to-one, Hibernate ignores you. Try it out. Don't trust a word what I'm saying. Try it out in the labs. So you make it one-to-one. You make fetch type equal to lazy, but still Hibernate simply ignores you. And the moment you say the configuration as one-to-one, it will always load the address details. Understood what I said? So is this fetch, changing the fetch type to lazy, is it going to solve the problem or is it not going to solve the problem? It doesn't solve the problem. Everyone with me? So, see, again, I'm saying, is this the only solution for your project? No. So if you identify any one-to-one association, please ask yourself smart questions. Do you want, suppose I'm taking the example as student and student details or student and address. And if you say in your project requirement, I don't know what you want. So if you say that every time along with the student, I want to lift the address details, how will you configure it? Bidirectional or unidirectional? You can go for bidirectional and pick up the both. But if you say no, in most of the cases, I've got lot of project time problems coming to me, and people say that it is such a huge query, it has lifted the whole object graph. So the only solution is, if you don't want along with the student address details, don't add the address in student at all and make it unidirectional. So which way we will keep the relationship? Direction, navigationality, student to address or address to student? Perfect. Address to student. Do you understand what I said? I'll quickly repeat. If you are happy, if your project requirement is, now it is all project requirements, guys. It is okay, project, exam, whatever. If you want to lift both the things, always student and address, what can you configure easily it as? Bidirectional. Story over. So when I say story over, at the rate one-to-one on both the sides. And then you give mapped by in the inverse side and maybe cascade and all that. But that example I have just taken. So I'm showing you, in case you don't want that, the only option, easy option is create a unidirectional association. And in that case, like you answered, don't make it from student to address. Otherwise, again, it will behave. I mean, the whole point is lost. Put it in a address to student manner. Got me so far? Understood the first level statement? Okay, now the next one. So as a unidirectional association, student to address is possible, address to student. Which one is suitable to avoid additional address details lifted every time along with the student? Yes, please. Which one is better? The first option or the second option? I hope you are giving me the correct answer, the second option. Okay, so this is your second option. All clear. Now, read a question, typical questions, popular questions, and let's start to understand the question and then you answer. If you are configuring a unidirectional Okay, this doesn't matter. Whatever I'm saying doesn't matter to unidirectional or bi. One-to-one association. For every student record, there will be an address record, and vice versa. For every address, there will be a student, a one-to-one mapping. So before I ask you to read this, tell me from your database sense, how will you manage this mapping? Using foreign key or using a link table? One-to-one, I'm saying, simple one-to-one. Foreign key is required. I mean, will it be okay? Or will you require a join table? Foreign key is all you require. You need a join table only for many-to-many. You got me? Okay, so of course a foreign key. So now I'm asking, which is a better approach? Both entities. Which both entities? In my case, student and address having separate primary keys, or both of them sharing the same primary key, because anyway it is going to be the with student one address, with address one student. So what is a better approach? Tell me. Rohit, you are wrong. If you say separate, it means you are increasing. The moment you increase the primary key, the indexing has to increase. And more the indexes, more, more work for the database. So in this case, 100% better approach is, it is called Google. It's not Java only, it's a database concept, shared primary key. So what will happen is, what can happen is one annotation does it, @maps ID does it. So I'm just building up a story. So instead of address having its own primary key, address table is anyway going to require the foreign key. What will be the foreign key in address table? Tell me. What will be the foreign key in address table? Student ID. So why not have the same student ID, the same foreign key acting as a foreign and a primary key both? So how many indexes your database will have to manage? Only one index, that for student ID. Understood the point? I'm trying to give you best possible solution. So your project, if you take it up, will have all the optimal conditions. So definitely advanced. So here, how to map, read this. Okay, so answer is a shared primary key approach. Okay, so how to map one-to-one association in which primary key value of one entity, that is in our case student's primary key, is also used as primary key value of the other entity, which is example here, address. Okay, so the answer is using one annotation. I am showing you all the annotations. Use the JP annotation, and that annotation name is @maps ID. It is mapping the ID of the associated table as the primary key, as well as it will add the foreign key constraint. So read this twice. Unless until you see the table generated, you won't get that. So we will come to that. And then I want to show you something else. Okay. So in the address table, what all, okay. So I'll give you something so that you can answer me. Suppose we are going to write an address Pojo in 2 minutes. I'm just preparing you. Suppose in my address Pojo, I add, it is an entity, sorry. So of course, I'm going to extend it from base entity. Said that. Now, suppose I add these columns. Columns means properties in address Pojo. Think and answer. Which columns would be there in the address table? I'll repeat the question slowly. I said, suppose I'm going to declare city, state, country. Just take it 3. Okay. So can you tell me the columns in the address table? So yes, there will be only one additional column. What will be that? You can call it anything, ABC. Of course, that name we will decide at the rate join column, say, and that will be nothing but the primary key of this table, and it will reference whom? What will it reference? The student's primary key. Got it? And whole of it happens over one, what is it called? One annotation. So identify, we will write. I'm just preparing you. So when we start writing, there's no confusion. So we will add the address related state, city, state, country, phone number, zip code, etc. And now we are building one-to-one unidirectional association from address to student. If you have forgotten, why not student to address? Because every time I want to read the student, I will get an address also. So remove it from one side and make it unidirectional. As always, we will add this at entity, at column, etc. And this is the main thing. So what is it you are going to learn next? So which annotation we want? This is your one-to-one mapping. So I hope everyone understands it at the rate one-to-one. And if you don't add join column annotation, anyone wants to tell me who will decide the name of the foreign key column? Hibernate or programmer? Hibernate. You have seen it all, guys. So I'm telling you, after struggling with first relationship, one to, and that too as important as one to many, many to one bidirectional, everything else falls in place much more easily. Coming back. So this is the, okay, so but I don't want to create a confusion. So the name of the foreign key column, I'm saying student ID, and that will itself become the name of the primary column. And just now I gave you, recently I gave you a this thing, null label equal to false. So which constraint it will bring in? Not null constraint. So all this you know, but which is the annotation to tell Hibernate that configure this as foreign key? It has already configured, but as the shared primary key, that answer is maps ID. Okay, so you can open your J2E docs. Where are my J2E? Just a second. You can open J2E docs and search for your maps ID. Later you can read this. So designates, I'm not talking about many to one, I'm talking about one to one here, that provides the mapping for embedded primary key. Embedded primary key means the primary key and foreign primary key. It doesn't have a separate one. It is going to use it from the associated table. Later, it can be also used for composite primary keys. That is some other time. So sorry. So coming back to the sequence, this is what we are going to configure. So I don't know whether I keep changing, modifying the sequence. Let me send you this as the hint. It would be there already in that earlier shared sequence, but I have just reorganized the thing, knowing how much I can take today. So after doing it, will you need any changes to be done in the student Pojo? Absolutely not. Why? Because from student, you cannot access the address anyway. So what changes? Zero changes. But without fail, we will definitely add the mapping entry in the address, and we'll see if the table gets created and the address gets added and all that. Understood the steps, what we are going to do? So we are continuing with one-to-one association, unidirectional, using shared primary key approach. So open the ID. Continue with this. So start with the Pojos. I have told you, the takeaway point, take home point of today, most important is Pojo. Trust me on this. In the last day, when we have Spring Boot, Spring Data JPA, zero changes we are going to make to Pojos. I'm not saying about DAO layer. DAO is going to be extremely thin. So that is apart. But Pojo is going to be unchanged. So maximum things you get in Pojo. Maximum learning you do on Pojos. So let's create a new Pojo here. And then annotate it together. Address. It is going to be an entity. So you can extend it from the base entity as before. So unfortunately, even though it is going to use, shared primary key, it requires that at ID annotation. So it won't have the corresponding column, but the at ID annotation it still requires. So right now, don't worry about annotations. Let's talk about the details. So private string, Suppose I say city, state, string or whatever, country code, and a zip code maybe. Something. Okay. So these are your address details. I'll send you this address, and here, sorry, we will add the association mapping field in a minute and generate the constructor which has everything. And then add all setters and getters. Choose always, select all or Pojo. And you can give a toString which has all the details added. So this is a very ordinary Pojo which we have written. Other than extends base and entity, there's nothing. I'll send you this so that we can start on the same page. Done? Okay, so I don't think people require it any longer, but in general, this is your address Pojo. Now answer same questions I'm asking you to give you the feel of repetition, revision. So if I write only this much, is my student and address connected or not yet connected, linked or not linked? Is there any has a relationship between them? Everyone knows that. So what are we building? Unidirectional, bidirectional. Take a pick. Unidirectional. Why not bidirectional? So I'll ask you a reverse question. What is the default fetching policy for your one-to-one? Lazy or eager? Eager. So if you say yes to one-to-one bidirectional, every time you lift the student details, whose details will be also lifted? Address. Even after you change the fetch type to this thing, what is it called? Lazy, it will ignore you and fetch the details. You got me? So what is the only option? Don't add the address details in student, but I have to link them. So link it in a reverse manner, address to student. So answer now. So if we want to do this, so write it one-to-one association. I want in a unidirectional manner. So if I write it in this, so this is your address to student. From student, you cannot access it. I already said it's a one unidirectional. I told you the reason behind it also. Address to student and make it one-to-one. This is what we are configuring. So tell me, if I want to access from address student, which is the additional property I have to configure? Anyone wants to tell me what is it I should add here? Add student there. Absolutely correct. So here, which is the property I have to add is student. Okay. So I just want to give a different, okay, anyway. I was thinking of a variable name, so wait, forget it. So now, once you do this, should I give it as a single valued property or should I say list of students, collection based or single valued? Single valued. Why? Answer is right here, one-to-one. This is not your one-to-many or many-to-many. You got this? The simple thumb rule. I have seen people making mistakes, so I'm giving you all these so many times. The moment you add a property, what should you immediately add in the Pojo class? A getter and a setter. Otherwise, you will forget it later and causes a lot of problems. So here, please. Somebody was asking me yesterday, later what do you have to have or do you have annotations? I told you, learn Lombok as a Spring Boot, one of the dependency, and this will be generated automatically, reducing the size of Pojo to just data members. Few lines. Till then, yes. So have I added? I was talking to you. Yeah. So please add the getters and setters. But if you add only this much, okay. So here, who will generate? Okay, let me say this properly. The moment you have one-to-one as well as or many-to-one, your foreign key column will be added. But what will be the name of the foreign key column? Anyone wants to tell me? Student underscore ID. So how to override it and replace it by our own this thing, whatever column, whatever name, join column annotation. So you have a total control about which names, what is happening in ORMF thing. So start name is equal to, you can say SID or student ID, anything. And here, do you want it ever as null? In short, not null constraint, null label is equal to false. So what will be the name of the foreign key column? S underscore ID and null label equal to false. Understanding so much, this much? So if I write only this much, can you tell me what will be the columns? Which columns? Okay, guys, don't give me this. I understand this. So which additional columns will be there in the address class? This is the real question. Only S underscore ID? Only that? Okay, count and tell me. How many columns would be there? Is it 5 or is it 6? Yes, Kunal is right. So Gaurav is also right. Answer is 6. Here, where you have told this fellow, what is it? Hibernate, that I want a shared primary key. Correct? So the moment you say extends from base entity, you are inheriting ID. So one will be ID. That is a primary key constraint. And one will be S underscore ID with a foreign key constraint. Understood me totally? Understood why 6 columns I'm saying? Okay. So now how to tell Hibernate? Don't go and bother with multiple primary keys, share primary key. So there is an additional one at the rate maps ID. Each and every annotation, know it inside out. Trust me, people ask you, and forget anyone asking you, you need the understanding. Otherwise, how will you code? How will you configure? Now tell me, last question. How many columns would be created? 5 or 6? 5. And what will be the names? These are as it is. I'll edit them. But the main thing will be the SID, and that itself will act as a foreign key plus a shared primary key. Okay. So now let us, so I gave you the important ones first. Now, last time you remember, I had forgotten about the normal ones. Normal means usual ones. So please add address table. And the thing is from GPA, and quickly add. I'm just reducing the lengths of the columns. Otherwise, it is 255. You know that. Like this. Finish it fast, or otherwise I'll send you country code and all is fine. And here I'll say, suppose I zip code is unique. Oh, wait a second. No, but you will have other things. Sorry, not unique. In the table, how can it be unique? Phone number, if I added, it would have been unique. The name, I don't want it as this. Name, I want it as this. I was, going to give a unique constraint wrongly. No such thing. And I think we are done here. Just a second. Entity table. This is unfortunately required because otherwise you check it. It will not work. And even though it won't result into that column, city, state, country, zip code, SID and all of that. Yeah. So let me send you this. Address. Okay. And without fail, since it is an entity where the mapping entry has to be done in the configuration XML file. So add the new entity here. New mapping entry here. Ojos dot. Okay, address. Done. This entry has to be added per Pojo. Sorry, not per Pojo, per entity. You let me know whenever you are done. So we're going to check the table creation. Added that. Okay. So now simply run test Hibernate. In test Hibernate, okay, don't go by memory. We are simply calling get factory. It is a static method of your Hibernate utils. Anytime before Java can call, JVM can call a static method, a class loading has to trigger. And whenever the class is loaded, static initializer block is called. And in the static initializer block, when you call configure, Hibernate framework will start reading the instructions from Hibernate configuration XML, finds a new entity. Is there any table associated with that yet? No table. So let us see whether the automatic table creation works. Understood all the statements I made? You know this from the earlier part. Yes or no, something. Okay. So in short, don't run anything. That's why I always suggest keep some simple tester ready. And if you have messed up, if you have made some mistakes, we'll know immediately. This is a mess. This. So it is saying mapping column student. This I was not expecting. Have I forgotten something? Oh yeah. Did I? Actually, I did not. Wait a second. Address. In address. Check at entity at table. If you find a one-to-one is missing, oh, see the thing. I said I will add and never added. Of course. How will it know otherwise? Which type? So sorry. It's good in a way. You realize and you just add. I said it will add, which is this, but forgot totally. Good to see the errors always any day. Wasn't intentional though. Okay, so it has created the table. It has see the thing, guys. It has created this foreign key, and let's check what all columns you got. So describe. What is the table name? ADR underscore TBL. ADR underscore TBL. And check. Are we using shared primary key, which references the foreign key, which is acting as a primary key shared between student and address table. So it takes me a lot of time, you know that, to explain a point. But once you do that, and once you pick up this need in project, it takes you a minute to add one-to-one. Don't forget like I did, and just add a maps ID. Got it? Got some idea? So guys, I of course want to insert the address record and all, but I have to always unfortunately balance time. So here in the remaining time, I want to do something which has been pending. So let me tell you, let me ask you, what is your feel? Are you going to use Hibernate in such core Java environment, or do you need to integrate it in a web application? Simple question I'm asking. Of course, this is just a warm-up. Warm-up in the sense, see, I'm not saying wrongly. Down to other layers are the similar ones, but finally you have to go to web application. So today being the second week, I think, second week in the Advanced Java getting over, I just want to show you a quick demo. Quick means time permitting, so I'm saying quick. There's nothing quick about it, where at least you will get an idea about that. You know that JSP Java Bean. We did not do it for last 4 days, 3-4 days. So I hope you remember JSP Java Bean, which was the layer which was managed by the Java Bean. You remember JSP Java Bean, I hope, a DAO layer. But which DAO layer we were working with earlier? JDBC based or Hibernate based? JDBC based. So we are planning to replace it by Hibernate based. So what is it we are attempting is nothing but the integration of dynamic web project as in dynamic web application with Hibernate. So other things I had planned in the sequence, I'm not saying let it go types. I'll have to take it on Monday. Actually, Monday I wanted to start with Spring Framework, to be very honest with you. But I can't skip anything in between. So we'll manage. And then maybe second half of Monday, I hope to start with Spring. Let's see how it goes. So guys, I'll send you something, the detailed instructions. So other things, whatever, if you want, you can definitely try. These objectives I wanted to cover, and then entity value. But in the morning revision, as usual, we spend a lot of time, but it doesn't matter. As long as you are understanding it, it is okay with me. And later I'll go to entity and value type. Later means on Monday morning. So coming back to the point, yeah, you can try as a lab exercise. I'll give you instructions. So here you already have the student admission done, suppose. And now you just want to link the student details. So you accept the student ID who's, you have form. So you have the first page where you enter your primary details and choose the course. Then next, so you go to the address form and you fill up the address details, city, state, country, zip code and all that. And then you have to link. So that is one of it. And maybe later you want to change your phone. Okay, phone number is not there. Change the city, some updates. Then also it will be definitely interesting to solve. So I'll keep it on the back. This thing. What do you say? Second priority. Let us finish. Finish means at least start Maven with web application. Just give me a second. I'll just check whether I have updated the POM. This POM is going to take you 1 minute to download one dependency. So give me a second here. Yeah, this is the new plugin you'll have to add. That is the only thing new. Rest all dependencies are already there. Okay, so just a minute. I'm sending you this. So that step by step, I'll open the instructions and we'll do it from scratch. I have, okay, so first I will. It will be very interesting and worth your weekend. Which one I want? Java EE, it will have, yeah. Maven for web application Hibernate. You let me know. Too heavy for you now. Okay, no, this is too much. We'll do the simple one. You let me know when you got it, guys, and when you extracted. So we can start. Kunal, I don't know. How can I know? Guys, help him. Kunal has not got it from me. So can somebody send it to Kunal? Share, help yourself. Yeah, you got so many. Okay. I think he's got it by now. New Zoom update. Is that the killer? Anyway, let's not waste time, guys. So please open. I will give you the instructions and please follow. Let's do it in a decent speed manner. I'm not saying too fast. Okay, as usual, before that, I have to tell you the objective. So which was the case study we were building earlier? CMS. So I'm not at all going to complete. See, from my side, you are free to do whatever. So initial at least user login, which was common between your customer and administrator. Let us attempt it now. And then as per your will, as per your efforts, you can always continue. I'll definitely give you instructions. So what is it we are doing? We are going to build a web application with Maven. And because you don't know that, and you'll definitely require it before I take you to Spring Boot. So Spring Boot Thursday onwards is what my guess is. I can't actually predict. I predict something and it gets delayed. So I think by Thursday onwards, I should take you to Spring Boot, but depends. So till then, you have to do all this. So instructions first. Open this. Read me. The requirement is the objective which we will solve hopefully by 2 o'clock is the user login. So here, just a second. I'm just checking whether do this or that. Okay, let's do it in a fast manner. Only thing is maintain some basic speed, please. Open here, Control-Shift-W. Are we developing a core Java application or a web application? Keep responding also. So I know that you are there, a web application. So which perspective should you choose for easy shortcuts? Choose web perspective, Java EE perspective. Got it? So you are back with servers and all that. It has been long time. We did not do this. So do that. What I am doing today is going to help you till you learn Spring Boot. Once Spring Boot, all this headache of configuration, zero. But till then you have to survive. Okay, so let me not get distracted. Here, read, understand, and then do. So everyone knows new file, Maven project. But earlier I had shown you Maven with Hibernate as a core Java project. So what was the packaging we chose? Anyone remembering? What was the packaging we chose earlier for Maven project? Nobody? A jar. We chose a jar file. So here, are we developing a core Java application or a web application? Web application. So the packaging will be done in web application archive is equal to var. So let's do that parallelly. Do with me. I hope you have changed it. Perspective, drop down list. Only one dependency is going to get downloaded. That's it. So all this you know. Create a simple project. Next step. This is your company name in a reverse domain manner. So suppose you are working for developers.com, com.developers. ID, I'll keep it day 12 wise. So day 12, this is a web project with Hibernate and most importantly, Maven. So day 12, web Hibernate Maven. Change the packaging to var. The name typically as the artifact ID and description, write it properly so that you will know later, even when you want to refer to it. It is a web application with JSP, Java Bean, Hibernate based down layer using Maven. I'll send you the description. So you will know what to expect, like, you know, this is what we are building. And like I said, at least user login, if not much. So this all is empty. Can I go to the next screen? Only changes, change the packaging from jar to var. Done, guys? Okay, because there are a couple of steps. That's why finish. Please practice it in the lab session. Done this much? Now the next step, you will have a red cross. So don't worry. So this is your web application folder structure, which you know already. So I'll give you all the instructions. Don't this. pom.xml. Here, ignore. See, I'll tell you the reason. On one side, you have said what, and other side, there's no web XML there. So it is saying that give me web.xml, will give everything. Don't worry. So now please open the pom.xml, which I have shared. It is the same pom.xml, which I had given for Hibernate dependencies. In addition to that, I have just added a Maven var plugin because I want to package it as a var and not as a jar. So guys, do the same things, copy the tags after the description. So it will start with the build tags. Don't copy the project closing tag, obviously. And here, paste it. Have a look at it before you say save. So here, check it out. You should not have the, you will have a red cross. Okay, so forget the red cross. It will go sooner or later. So this is your project name. And you will see the description and already I said, this is fine, this is fine. Maven var plugin and the var file name, you give same as your project name. So I'll show you the var file creation and all that. I mean, it will get created over the Maven goal, over that. So write number 26, var file name, match it to your project. Need not match. I'm just syncing it up properly. And please confirm. So this is the only var plugin extra. Otherwise, everything else is the same. Just let me confirm. Yeah, looks okay. Now save. There is a possibility that it may not start the download. Now you are kind of knowing Maven. So how do you force update? Right click, say Maven, update project, force update, okay it. And tell me, has your download started? Guys, you have to have a decent speed of net. There's only one plugin which is going to download. Has it started? Is it complete? Complete also? 50%. Okay, some of you are saying this. So I'll give the next instructions. Otherwise, we'll stretch it to 2:30 and I don't know, like too much. So after that, after the download finishes, right click on this, all this is fine. Yeah. So now here we have been working with Apache Tomcat, but with web application with Maven, it doesn't set it. So here I've literally given you right click and all that. So you read this, we will perform it together. So please, okay, sorry. One small asset test, confirmation test. GRE system library, Java SE 1.5 or 11. Has it updated to 11? Okay. Next one, please open Maven dependencies. Are your all Hibernate dependencies? They were already in your Maven local repo. Which local repo I'm talking about? .m2 repo and all that. Is it so? So that will not get downloaded at all. Only one plugin, that Maven War plugin, nothing else. So Maven dependencies, can you see all of them without any red crosses and all that? Great. And then what? Yeah, that's it. So now let's see. Let us add the Apache Tomcat runtime to this. Follow the instructions. Right click on the project, click on properties. All instructions, if anyone is not doing it, have to try it in the lab. And I would say those who have done it with me, please give yourself a practice and do it. So here, can you see a tag, menu item, targeted runtimes? After server, service policies, targeted runtime. Tell me, is any checkbox selected yet? No. So which one we want to use now? Apache Tomcat. This one later. Selected. So what are we doing? Don't just blindly follow the instructions. We have a web application, but it was not configured on any server. So we are just configuring it on Apache Tomcat. Say apply and close. Done. These are just the configuration instructions, nothing great. Okay. Now read the next instruction. Here, okay, before I say the next instruction, please open the folder structure. You have src main Java, src main resources. We'll come to that. Expand src main and tell me, because we are creating it as a web application, do you have that context root context path created? Can you see web app? You can't see web app? You can, right? So, but below web app, which is that mandatory private folder which you require for it to create to be as a web application. Give me the name of a J2E compliant web INF. So unfortunately, this Maven option doesn't do it. So there is an easy fix. I had given this fix earlier. If you forget that web.xml, etc. So please right click on it and say Java EE tools. And do you see that second option? Generate deployment descriptor stub. So what is going to happen is it will create under web app, web INF, and also create a web.xml. Click on it. And expand web app, web INF, web.xml. Check. Created or not created. Created. Okay. So I don't know. Sometimes, it differs because of the version. Please tell me. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I'll ask you to go to the line number 2, where you have XML namespaces and all. Scroll and tell me what is the web app version it has created. In my case, it has created 2_5. What is it in your case? 3.1 or 2 and this same. So now you remember we used to create a web application when we did not know Maven with 3.1. So we are changing this. Be little careful. Or if you wait a minute, I will send you this also. So I want to change from 2.5 to 3_1 here. And the web application version, change it to 3.1. Otherwise, some of those servlet types, some of the annotations, the latest ones will not be available. Save it. In a minute, if you're having a problem here changing, I don't think you should have, but in case, I'm sending you the web XML. I'll put it in today's project anyway will be added. So like you can manage that. So D12, SRC, main, web app, web INF, send you web XML in case you don't want to make a change. Okay. Now, same question. Do we need so many welcome files or only one is sufficient? One is sufficient. Which one? HTML or JSP? We have started using JSP. So let's have a index.jsp here. Got it? Later onwards, I'm going to ask you to make the copies. Only once or twice take these efforts. Why I'm saying only once or twice? With Spring Boot reduces to 0, but till you have to manage. This is what it is. It was. So currently, if there are no errors, you don't have to do anything. In case you are seeing errors, you have a clean option. See here, project. Never ever touch build automatically. If you by mistake, nobody does it intentionally, I know that. But if you disable it, what happens is your whatever changes you have done to the project will not get reflected. So please don't touch this. There is an option above that, clean. In case you don't want to clean all, waste of time. In case there is an error, I'm showing you troubleshooting tips. There are 10 different troubleshooting tips, maybe on Monday, not now. So follow the next one. So here, we have done everything, I guess. Check the version. Yeah. So I think we are good to go, good to start. So now, which is the welcome page we have to create and where index.jsp and where you know this. Now I'm combining your Hibernate knowledge and web application knowledge. Yes, under web app, very right. So only thing is it is a Maven based project, nothing different. So please right click web app, new index.jsp. And here, just give some link, testing integration of web application and Hibernate. And since I want to check whether it is generating that, dynamic server side date, you can simply say new date, control space it, pick it up from java.util, a constructor. So we will know whether it is working fine. And then we will add Pojo, DAO and all, whatever you allow me to like. I know it is closing time, so I'm saying whatever you want, we will do. So at least this much. Added this much. Now, how do you run it? You know how to run it. Are you going to run it on as a server-side application or as a Java application? Tell me. Server-side or Java? Of course, server-side. So you are deploying it on the server. Right-click, run as. The famous option, run on server. Others are Maven built. Ignore them. Run on server. Next it. Remove all. Last few days, we were not here at all. Day 9.1, I could see the last one. And as usual, watch the console, guys. So, is it showing you that changing timestamp and all that? And before that, is it showing you error-free console? Tell me, waiting for your answers. Working fine so far? Okay, next one. I'm stretching it in for next 10 minutes also looks like. Okay, so you can stop the server since we are going to do things. So click on the stop. Now tell me, here, open this, don't go blindly. Here, I have added all the Hibernate jars, but if you remember, don't remember, looking at time, I'm not opening the Hibernate layers diagram. So we have got the jars, but do you have the Hibernate CFG XML? Do you have a Pojo? Do you have a DAO? Quickly, yes or no? Nothing. You don't have a thing. So now let us add things. So here, because this has to talk to database using Hibernate. So you can open, let me just check. I'm just going to this thing from your earlier one of it. Give me a second. You can open anything. So SRC, not test. We are not into test. I'm just opening that. Yeah, so pojos.user is fine. So let us do that. Copy from any of your earlier project, not today's project, because today has got student, address, etc. Leave that aside for ER, entity relationship. Copy the earlier days, the 11.1 Hibernate CFG XML. Do it little fast. And where are you going to paste it? Of course, in SRC main resources. Paste it. Say Control-Shift-W and open it and check it once quickly. Are you having your own password and your own username? Because if you're copying from me, you know you have to change it. Do it. Change the database settings, only username and password. Done? Done the changes? Good. Does it have a mapping entry of pojos.user? Don't add anything else. Keep only pojos.user. Exists or doesn't exist? It exists? Okay. So now, do you remember what was the first step we used to check in Hibernate? Only bootstrapping. You remember the bootstrapping where the session factory, that connection pool was up and running. So guys, please look at the console of your web application and tell me, have we yet bootstrap? Is Hibernate framework up and running or not yet? Look at the console and tell me, is Hibernate framework up and running? It's not a difficult question. So it's a yes or no question. Can you see any Hibernate console or this Hibernate session factory or connection pool and all? Not yet. So can you tell me the next step? Because if it comes from you, it is great. What is the next step? What is the next thing you require? Yes, please. DB utils. Okay, Hibernate utils. But you are right. So now copy. So let's not waste your time at all. You tell me from day 11.1, what all layers? Or okay, let's not hurry. It's not bad. It's not this. So just quickly copy the utils. And where will you copy paste it? Under the SRC main Java. Open it. It's a one-liner. New configuration, configure, build session factory. Done the copy of utils, Hibernate utils. Now, tell me, creating this session factory, is it a heavyweight job, time consuming, or is it fast? Heavyweight or lightweight? Heavyweight. So, should you do this after the user comes in or before? Okay, after the first user comes in or at the application deployment time? Are you understanding? I know I'm stretching it today a lot, but at least this much I have to finish to give you the feeling of this. So deployment time. So you remember a servlet which can be started at the loaded on startup. You remember servlets, right? Yes, eager loading, loaded on startup. So that is one option. But that means I have to write a servlet. But do you can do that also, but there is something which gets executed before the servlet. Do you remember web application listener? We created the listeners, session listeners, request listeners, context listener. So we are going to create in the next literal minute a context listener. Context listener, servlet context listener is the interface. Which are the two methods? Context initialized, context destroyed. So you tell me, web container will call context initialized when? After the client's request or when the context is created? I mean, when you deploy the web application. At the application deployment time. So what would you like to do there? Create a session factory, singleton immutable instance, and close it in a, what is that? Context destroyed method. And then we will see, then I'll ask you whether you want me to continue or stop. At least we should see whether Hibernate is integrated in this web application that way. So guys, right click on SRC main Java, new, and do you see a listener? I have already shown you all this in the first 2 weeks of J2E. Next week is going to be most advanced. Like I said, we will bring Spring and all and integrate it together. Anyway, got here? Now, so listeners, and I'm saying here, it's a Hibernate manager. Okay, what it is going to do is Hibernate session factory manager. It is going to create a session factory right at the application deployment time. And when you shut down the application, it is going to clean up, close this. No super classes. Have I done it correctly? Yes, next. Which is the interface you will select? Select the first one, servlet context listener, only one. We are not interested in sessions every time. This I just want to do it exactly once. One singleton instance of the session factory per entire application. And I've got just one database here. So next step, this looks fine, finish. So open that now. So, okay, sorry. How come it did not add this? It did not add the, just a second. I'm surprised to see. Wait a second. It did not add the annotation. Let me see. Oh, that web.xml still. What is having this? It has added the listener tag. Okay. So because of that FastSec issue. See guys, don't get confused in the last minute. So here it has not added the annotation, but has added the XML tag in web.xml. So you can you can delete it so that we will go with the annotation way. So there's some red crosses here. Oh, how come? What is it I'm doing? I changed it to this actually, or did I make a change in the wrong file? I don't know. Maybe I made a change in the wrong file. Where did I see this? Wait a second. Oh, 3.1. This here I did not change. But something is wrong here. Wait a second. So I think I did not. I know guys, even I'm hungry. Wait a second. I'll just delete this and will generate it again. You don't do it. You are also getting the same error? Tell me yes or no. Or have you given up? You're also getting this. Okay. So just delete that, please. And add the right click. Then you have Java EE tools, generate deployment descriptor stuff, web.xml. Modify this to 3.1. I'm just editing it so that, see, earlier version did not support the annotation. That is what I was worried about. So here I made it 3.1. And there should not be any, the same things what I told you earlier. Unfortunately, redoing it. Index.jsp. Oh, maybe I said clean that time. Maybe it got all reset. Don't say clean currently. And here I was wondering why it is. And then we were doing something. Yes. See, so please come to your listeners and add annotation @web listener. I'm going to send you this. So if you want to if you are not getting the last few steps which I did, all I did is I corrected again 2.5 to 3.1. That is it. I did. And now you don't require a constructor. You tell me who is going to call this method and when. I said asked you this question very lot many times. Is it going to be called by Hibernate or is it going to be called by web container? Tell me. Of course, web container. And at the context deployment time. And what is it you want to do is create, singleton instance of the session factory. That is all we need to do. So all I have to call is how to trigger the class loading. Just call a static method. So Hibernate utils dot get factory. You remember exactly same things we used to do tester first line, but it was done in an auto closable manner. Now I don't want to close it. I just want to open it here And where will you write the closing code? In which method we will close the session factory? Obviously, in the destroyed method. So one singleton instance gets opened right at the application deployment time. Finish it fast. In context destroyed. Okay. And here, just call the close method. Because I can't use here the auto closability. I want to open it in the beginning and close it later. So let me just check web listener, context destroyed, context initialized. Added the methods. Did you fix that web.xml thing? I'll tell you. I think, I'm not 100% sure guys, but I think it went back to 2.5 because I said in between project clean is what my hunch. I'm not 100% sure like I told you. So now let's see. Now you have to observe the console like anything. So right click. I hope you have saved everything. Run on server. Finish. Watch the console. And we are stopping here. So don't worry. Okay. Why this error? Don't get hyper about this error. Quickly tell me why this error. There is no index.jsp there. Or here. Oh, there's some other problem. Just a second. Oh, sorry. I take it back. There's some problem here. Unable. Why this? This tells me that there is some problem in the, oh yeah. In the CC, this exception initialization error. I know guys, this is all done in a hurry, so it is frustrating you. Plus you are hungry. This is the line which is causing the problem. I don't have a user Pojo. I was planning to copy it and then I thought maybe I'll show you systematically. Comment the line. Is there a user Pojo in our web application here? Answer, yes or no? Of course not. So when session factory comes to this line during configure, doesn't find a matching. So you have two options. Either copy that Pojos and the DAO and continue, or currently, let us just test the bootstrapping and call it a day. So I have done that. And then run it again. Watch the console. Index.jsp, don't even worry about. Okay, so oh, still it failed. What is wrong in it? Could not initialize the class. No class definition found error. Wait a second. Root cause is something else still. Give me a second. Initializer block. It has started reading this. This is all fine. Exception initialization, context initialized, root cause. JDBC environment. This means there's something wrong in the 100% Hibernate. This. Have I messed up something more? Have I changed it in the wrong place? No, not really. Let me just check it. Otherwise, during lunch break, I'll just send you the updated version. Wait, let's do it together. SRC main resources, Hibernate configuration XML. You check. Root is fine. DAC22 is fine. Root is fine. All this looks okay. And I've removed the pojos.user. So I'm seriously not sure why that is failing. Should not fail at all. And then you have a session factory manager. Let's see. It says Hibernate utils.get factory, which goes here. Let's see the console once again. Anyone finds my mistake? Tell me. It is 100% because of the Hibernate CFG XML. Could not do this. Getting the same error or not getting the error? Tell me. Getting the same error? Okay, at least we are in sync. So what else is wrong in Hibernate configuration XML? Look at this driver you don't require. Just check the driver version. It's not giving me the exact clue. 8.0.27. So this is fine. Maven war plugin is causing it. I'm at a loss. I'm not 100% sure why it is not working. Let's check. So this looks okay. Caused by, it says something. Caused by is the only this we have. When Hibernate dialect is not set. So this is all indication. Oh, no class definition found error. Oh. Okay. But it is reading that. Let's see whether I have messed up in that. SRC main Java utils Hibernate utils. No, guys, I'm not finding the error. So let's stop here. I mean, it's a stretch like beyond crazy. So I'll also have lunch. So I'll also have some sense, and then I'll take a look at it and send you of course, the message. I'm not coming back in the lab session, but I'll send you the updated things. I'll try to fix it and see what is really going wrong. So before we log off, of course, all the instructions I'll mention in the advanced Java lab instructions. So you are going to revise three important relationships: one to many, many to one, and one to one. Go through individual annotation elements such as mapped by or orphan removal or whatever. I mean, all the things we created with this. Go through lazy initialization exception. And I'm going to give you, not discuss, give you a very small assignment first in that as a continuation of that. And hopefully I'll be able to find the bug, and I will send you a web Maven Hibernate project. So you just import it in your workspace, change the database settings, and then you will have a user login as your weekend assignment. That will be all. See you. Not in the lab session. See you directly on Monday, but I'll give enough instructions. So see you around. Enjoy your weekend with some revision as well. That will be all. See you around.